Hello and welcome to the AICE Chemistry lecture series. In this video, we're going to look at the final section of chapter 7, 7.9, which is disproportionation. In this section, we're really just going to cover a vocabulary term that we need to look at for redox reactions. And that vocabulary term, as you probably guessed, is disproportionation. Disproportionation reactions are a special type of redox reaction. Essentially, in a disproportionation reaction, a redox reaction is undergone where the exact same species, the exact same element, is both oxidized and reduced at the same time. Now, you have to be very careful with this definition. It's not the exact same atom, because an atom of an element cannot both lose and gain electrons. In this type of reaction, the same element, but two different atoms of the same element, are being both oxidized and reduced, meaning that it's a type of what we call self-redox, where two separate atoms of the same element transfer electrons between each other. If we look at this reaction that we have down here, this chlorine reaction, where Cl2 aqueous, chlorine solution, reacts with sodium hydroxide to create sodium chloride, hypochlorite, and water. So notice how in this reaction we have chlorine. We only have one species of chlorine in the reactant side, just Cl2. But in the products, there are two separate species of chlorine. We have the sodium chloride and we have the sodium hypochlorite. And that's because this is a self-redox reaction, or more accurately, a disproportionation reaction. Chlorine's oxidation number in this reactant in Cl2 is 0 because it is chlorine by itself in its elemental form. On the product side, however, we have the sodium chloride, where chlorine has a -1 oxidation number, and the sodium hypochlorite, where the chlorine has a +1 oxidation number. That means that in this reaction, chlorine is both reduced from 0 to -1 when it goes from Cl2 to the chloride ion in sodium chloride, and it's also oxidized when it goes from 0 to +1 from the chlorine to the sodium hypochlorite. So this is disproportionation reaction. It is something that you need to be aware, both because you could be asked about what a disproportionation reaction is, basically for a definition, but also because you could see this type of reactions and then be asked to either balance them or assign oxidation numbers or ask what is reduced, what is oxidized. And you need to be aware that there is a possibility of the same element being both reduced and oxidized into two separate products. Or even the inverse of this, which is a little more rare, where two different versions of the same element would react to create only one version. Meaning essentially the flip, if you were to flip over this reaction, where two reactants of the same element become one product of the same element. But this is disproportionation. It's just the same thing being both reduced and oxidized, the same element being both reduced and oxidized. That is really it for section 7.9. And that is it for chapter 7. Redox is one of the shortest chapters in all of the AICE chemistry curriculum. I will see you all in the next video to start discussing equilibrium in chapter 8.